Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. Happy full moon in Aquarius week. It's the week of August 19th through 25th. This is Ophi coming at you from the Hamptons in New York after a week of pre-launch events for the Astrology Advantage, counting down till August 27th. I feel like we've been talking about this for months, and now it's actually just a week away. So excited for you to get our latest book. If you haven't ordered it already, I'll be telling you how to get those bonuses that we're giving away. Just one more week to go. But first, there's going to be one heck of a full moon on Monday. Oh my God. If you've read your monthly horoscope or listened to the monthly podcast, you already heard about the double T-square traffic jam in the sky and probably on the ground if you're anywhere near Chicago, because this full moon in Aquarius, which happens to be the sign of revolution, social justice, organizations, politics, groups of people, community. Well, the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is starting the day of the full moon, and there are already, I think, over 6 protests planned with over 40 organizations marching outside. So it's shaping up to be exactly what I would expect things to look like under this cosmic energy. So there's a lot of good, but also a lot of breaking points that we're getting to. So the full moon's in Aquarius. And when we have a full moon, that means the moon and the sun are opposite each other. So by nature, a full moon already has a lot of tension. The moon is the inner self, the illumination of that at a full moon. And the sun is the ego and the outward self. So when they're opposite each other, it's like looking at someone from across the room. It can kind of be like a duel or a face-off of sorts, where you are experiencing sort of a reckoning, like, ooh, I'm going to stop and really look at things with a bird's eye view, with some perspective. So Leo is the self, the ego, but also the heart. Aquarius is the kind of objective, emotionally distanced or detached self. So it's a head and heart battle. But this particular full moon, the sun is also together conjunct with Mercury, which is retrograde. So that could cause some confusion. Mercury retrograde in Leo. Who are we? What do we want? What's our truth? What's someone else's? There could be that kind of battle between head and heart going on. And then Uranus, which is a planet that rules Aquarius, the planet of disruption, revolution, can be rebellion and even antagonism, is wedged right in the middle in Taurus. So it's in a T-square angle, a 90-degree angle, right triangle. And so there's an opposition and 2 90-degree squares. So the planet or planets that are at the apex of the square, the ones that are kind of in the crossfire or doing a lot of the instigating, setting things off. So we have Uranus and Taurus playing that role. And be careful. That's all I can say. If you go into the convention or even anywhere where there are people gathering, or if you're someone who's marching or protesting or just attending some kind of political gathering, just be really careful, because people are going to be a bit chaotic. Already they are at full moons, but this one is a doozy. We also, I think we may see some developments for sure. You know, the Middle East is governed by Taurus, and that is a key issue with all candidates and politicians. Ceasefire. We're gonna get to some breaking points or standoffs this week. It's gonna be a busy time in your news feed. But that's not all, because there's a second T-square. T-squares are already rare enough, but on the day of the full moon, there's a second one. Okay, so we've got Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. So the full moon T-squares in fixed signs, which are very stubborn and tenacious and dig their heels in. This one is a mutable T-square. So we've got Venus in Virgo, which is already kind of a weird place for Venus. Venus is love and romance, and Virgo is very pristine and pure. But we've got Venus opposite Saturn, which is in Pisces, and then wedged in the middle, we've got Mars and Jupiter in Gemini. So Mars, war, fighting, conflict. Jupiter is international. Mars is also action, and Jupiter is outspokenness and risk-taking. People are going to be saying all kinds of stuff, and there will be lots of opportunities to spend hours of your life getting your buttons pushed and dragged into debates. I don't recommend it. Venus is peace, but it's opposite Saturn and Pisces, which is sort of this harsh realities. I was reading about just what's going on in the attempts of Israel and Hamas and the U.S. trying to negotiate a ceasefire, and just how much everybody thinks they're right, and just had this feeling of like, nobody wants to budge one bit. They haven't ever, but nobody wants to under these stars. So it's unfortunate because poor Venus is getting not much support there. It's in a very weakened position with Mars and Jupiter and Saturn. It's like, imagine if these planets were people, like the shy, sweet person, innocent young person, the family's fighting, everyone's in chaos, and the sweet kid is over in the corner going, guys, can we just, work this out? Can't we all just get along? And everybody's too busy, like, either shouting to be heard or going, you don't understand. You haven't lived in this world long enough. And it's not as simple as you think. That would be Saturn. So we've got Saturn is the old guard really digging in and sticking to their position. And then Mars and Jupiter, certainly the protesters, but also how they're being with each other. So, man, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this planet sometimes. Like, we really are at a point. September 1st, we've got Pluto backing into Capricorn for its final run, and then never again in our lifetimes. So September 1st to November 19th, Pluto, the planet of transformation, and can be destructive. Pluto's the god of the underworld, but it's dipping into Capricorn for its final leg of this 16-year journey that started in 2008, a really significant time in politics. 2016, halfway point. 2020, three-quarter point. All major election cycles. I mean, all of them were. But here we have our final one in 2024. Under Pluto and Capricorn. Is it the last gasp of the patriarchy, or will it dig in? It's up to us. We have to decide. I'm trying to have faith in humanity here, but there are no easy answers, and that is par for the course of this week. Now, before I get into Virgo season and the Mars-Venus square that are happening, let's talk about where there is some hope, or at least our efforts to create some. And that is one bright yellow book that is coming to every bookstore near you August 27th, The Astrology Advantage. Use your horoscope for personal and professional success. Some of you have spent the summer with us doing some of our webinars or trying out on social media the I Am system, our astrology meets personality test, the ultimate shortcut to tap into the strength and power of your chart. Whether you know astrology or not, none is required for this book, because for years and years, we've been teaching people how to read their charts, or we've been doing readings for them. And we noticed it's really hard to retain this information. So we're bringing you the I Am system so that you can tap into the power of your entire chart without having to become an astrologer, memorize it, anything of the sort. While we know that it may not be the answer to world peace, because I guess that's our job to figure out as humans, I can say that not living your truth, your type, can be a big source of friction and upset. A lot of people, I think universally, become more angry, more upset when they don't get the freedom to be who they are. It's a universal desire of humans, and it's one that we try to support as much as we possibly and humanly can. So the astrology advantage is our small contribution to that dream and desire and mission, that you become more of who you are, not less. You stop trying to fit someone else's idea of what success and happiness is, and you feel validated for the one that you've always known was right for you. A lot of the people that I talk to who aren't happy or satisfied in their lives, they 9 times out of 10, even if they think they don't know what they want, they actually do. They just don't feel that it's okay for them to want that. So our hope is that when you read the Astrology Advantage, you will see, oh my gosh, I've known all along. We've got special bonuses, including a chance to win a reading and get the book so we can all be happier and more fulfilled together during this crazy fall. So for the rest of the week, we've got Virgo season starting August 22nd. The sun moves on into Virgo and calms us down a little bit. Just remember that Mercury is retrograde until August 27th. Yes, our book does come out on the very last day of Mercury retrograde. It's the grand finale parting gift is what we like to say. We didn't pick that date, but hey, you get what you get. You don't get upset, they say. So we've got the Venus-Mars square to cap off the weekend. So if you're planning a date night, Sun's in virginal Virgo on Thursday. That's a myth. Let's just clear that up right now. Virgo is very sensual. It's an earth sign. It's just slow and sexy. I mean, Barry White was a Virgo, Amy Winehouse. I mean, every album that babies have been made to was probably crooned by a Virgo. Michael Jackson. So let's just dispel with that myth right now. They are the sexy, sensual crooners of the zodiac, and Virgo season is just more like R&B instead of house. Charlie XCX is a Leo, and she definitely was the Leo season song, an album of summer. But now we're moving into a few more slow jams added to the playlist, and maybe we're ready for that. Thursday is also the Venus-Mars square. That's August 22nd. Venus is the yin part of love. Mars is the yang. Venus is in Virgo. Mars is in Gemini. They're square all week. They're part of that T-square on the full moon. And when the love planets are in this tug of war, it's a time of negotiation. Are we getting a theme here? So the week of squares is about resolving conflict as peacefully as possible. Venus and Mars are both in signs ruled by Mercury, Virgo and Gemini. So we're gonna have to talk it out. We're going to have to get into the nitty-gritty details. It's going to be some very, very tense negotiation. I predict that this Aquarius full moon is the day that the Benifer love story finally reaches its much-needed conclusion, since they're both Leos. And then Thursday, we're going to see a lot of intensified negotiations for the Middle East, for the ceasefire that hopefully will come to be. There's going to just be a whole lot of negotiation, figuring out, discussing, debating. Someone's going to have to be the president of this country, and there's not going to be a perfect candidate. So this is the week where we go, all right, am I going to be a single issue voter, or I'm going to look at the whole picture? Am I going to vote? Please do. Please do. I just, I respect everybody's sovereignty and autonomy, but I don't know what to say when people don't vote and then complain. You don't get to complain if you don't vote, because you are part of the problem. If you don't, there, I said it. I'm having an Aquarius full moon moment, but even if you don't like someone, this is the week to maybe decide or start to think through or do some research on who you don't like the least, or just make peace with the fact that you are just, like I said before, getting what you get and don't get upset. Your book's coming out on Mercury retrograde's last day. You're getting the president you didn't want even more than the one you didn't want less. But I kid. I'm really happy that the book is coming out at the end of Mercury retrograde because I'm so ready to share it with you guys. So head on over to astrostyle.com, get your copy and all the bonuses because there's just one more week for those. And to win a reading, we gave away an awesome trip to San Francisco. We're going to have more giveaways. So everybody who has bought up to now will be entered into our upcoming New York City contest too. Dangling that one in front of you, but we'll be announcing that as well next week. So get yourself a hardcover copy of the Astrology Advantage, and you can win big with this crazy week we've got coming up. We're going to spread as much joy as we can. So make good choices, even though it's really, really hard to know what the heck those are right now. Or don't make choices, but spend the week really hashing out the pros and cons, doing some soul searching, getting some information, doing your research. Do not take things at face value. Stay away from anything if our intuition works. If your intuition tells you there's a bad vibe somewhere, do not go there, because this is we live in a world where people do crazy, horrible things. And I'm not predicting that, but I'm just saying with this cosmic weather, this is one of those weeks when people who are already kind of teetering on the edge could have a meltdown or crossover. So stay away from anywhere that you get a bad vibe from or that you see things getting agitated, and be safe. We'll see you in Virgo season, and set some intentions under that Aquarius full moon for humanity to come together, find resolutions, connect, create a shared future that works for as many of us as it possibly can. We all have to share this planet. And I know I sound idealistic, but that's the spirit of Aquarius. Aquarius is the rainbows and unicorns, believer in oneness. So I'm going to keep being that kind of person because it's the best seat in the house as far as I'm concerned. So sending much, much love to everybody listening. We care about you. You matter. Your voice matters, your vote matters, and let's shine and illuminate. As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrostyle.com, and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.